Today's lesson, lesson 2, module 3, I can apply or use the distributive and commutative properties to relate multiplication facts. Let's go over that. So apply means use. I can use these two properties. Distributive means to break apart. Commutative property means that 5 times 2 is the same as 2 times 5. You can switch the order of the factors and you'll still get the same answer. 5 times 2 equals 10, 2 times 5 equals 10. To relate, again, just to use towards multiplication facts. And today we're going to be using our 5 facts. I forgot to put quotations on this side. 5 facts. And all that means is we're going to be using our knowledge about fives. We know a lot about fives. We can count by fives really easily. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's a good reason why we use our fives facts, because we can always count by fives really easily. We might not be able to count by sixes or sevens as easily yet, but we can use our knowledge about counting by fives to solve bigger problems by breaking them apart and maybe flipping the order around. So that's what we're going to do today. One vocabulary term that's going to come up today is it's going to say unit form. When it asks us to write something in unit form, all that's asking us to do is use words for the label. So I might say 3 pears, 2 cookies. But more often today, we're going to be using like 3 9s or 4 5s. So we're just going to be using words to describe the labels. What I mean by that is, if in a picture each block equals 9, then we would be using the label of 9s. If we had 3 blocks, each of them being 9, we would be saying 3 9s. Okay, and you'll see that come up a little more as we move forward here. Okay, so for this first problem, I'd like you to pause this video and copy this down. This is what we're going to be filling in today. So once you've copied all of this down, go ahead and push play, and I will go over it. Okay, so let's take a look at our first problem and go over what exactly we're looking at here. So as I said when I was describing unit form, each block here in this picture, here's one block or one square, each square equals 9. That's what it means when it says each square has the value of 9. Okay, so this square is 9, this square is 9, 9, 9, 9. You can just imagine that each of these is a box of 9 markers. Okay, whatever works for you, but each one is 9. So our unit form, we will go ahead and write that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9s. Because again, unit form, we're using words for the label. And our label here is 9s, not cookies, not apples. Each one is a 9. Okay, so the facts that we do know, we know the commutative property. We can switch the factors and still get the same answer. So what we're doing here is we're going to switch. We know that we have 5 9s, so we know that we have 5 times 9. And as the commutative property says, we can switch the factors. So we know that 5 times 9 is the same as 9 times 5. Okay, and pause this as needed so you can go ahead and copy down with me as I go. Okay, we haven't solved it yet. We're just copying down what we have. We know we're working with 9s, and we know that we have 5 of them. Okay, now we're going to use one fact that we're really good at, which is our 5 facts. So we're going to skip count by 5 9 times. Because 9 5s is the same, 5 9s is the same as 9 5s. Okay, and we don't want to skip count by 9 5 times, that's way harder. Let's just skip count by 5s 9 times. So count with me here. 5, 10, there's 2, 15, 3, 20, 4, 25, 5, 30, 6, 35, 7, 40, 8, one more, 45, 9. So we just skip counted by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So what is 9 times 5? 45. So our total is 45. Okay. And again, all this part here is saying is that we know we have 5 9s, but instead of counting by 9 5 times, that's too hard right now. We're not fast enough at 9s. We haven't practiced that enough. That would just be crazy. Let's just count by 5s because we've been practicing that since 1st grade. We're really good at that. Really quick, really fast, had a lot of practice. So we know if we count by 5s 9 times, we can go ahead and solve that, and it's 45. Okay, so we just figured out that 5 times 9, 9 times 5, both of those are 45. That's our fact we've got down. Now we're going to apply that, just like in our content goal, we're going to apply that or use that in a different multiplication fact. So what we have right here is the fact that we just solved. We already did that, so I'm going to copy it down before I look at anything else. We know that 5 times 9 is 45. We just solved it. We're just going to put that down so we remember. And that's why I left those in red, to really remind us that that's what we just did over here. Okay, we had 5 9s in red. Here we still have 5 9s in red, so that's still 45. Okay, all we're doing is we're going to add another 9. But I put that in yellow because we kind of know that that's separated for right now. Okay, that's the distributive property. That's breaking it apart into 2 pieces. So the unit form of this whole picture, in the last one we had 5 9s. I told you we were adding 1 more, so that whole thing is 6 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 9s. That's what it says right here. And as I said, the distributive property is breaking something apart. So what we did was we broke that apart. We broke apart 6 9s into 5 9s, which we had in our last problem, and 1 9. We don't need that S on the end of 9s. That's silly. Okay, so we have 5 9s plus 1 9. All we did, distributive property, break this fact apart into working with 5s and then whatever is left over. Because today we really just want to work with those 5s. Okay, so any problem that has more than 5, are just going to focus on looking at the 5, and then the rest we'll deal with after. Okay, so, and go ahead and pause this as you need to so that you can copy this first part down, and also make sure you copy the picture. If you have different colors, use different colors to show where we broke it apart. If you don't, maybe you could like shade these ones in and leave this one unshaded. Just make sure you draw the line as well to really show yourself and show us that you're dividing this using the distributive property to break apart this factor of 6 9s into 5 9s and 1 9. Okay, and today we're not going to have a final problem. I just want you to walk through this with me, and I'm just going to have you fill in the last part by yourself. So I'm not going to have you solve anything by yourself because this is a new concept. We've kind of gone over the distributive property and the commutative property before, but we're applying it in a different way today. So here we go. Okay, so we already solved 5 9s. We wrote that down so we could keep track. We solved it on our last problem over here. We know that 5 9s is 45, so we copied it down already to keep track. So we know that we're starting with 5 9s is 45. Okay, that's really just saying that this part here is the red piece. So now we need to find out what 1 9 is. What does this piece equal? Well, that's pretty simple. 1 9 equals 9. I don't have to do too much math for that one, huh? All right, so now all we have to do is do 45 plus 9. There's a lot of ways to do that. You could count up on your fingers. You could stack the numbers and add them. I like to count on my fingers. That's a tool I always have. So I'm going to start at 45 and count up 9. So 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Stop. Just counted up 9 and I got to 54. Let me just up a little bit. So that's our big answer that we wanted to solve for the whole problem. Oh, and this post-it here is just reminding us that 5 times 9 is the same as 9 times 5. That's why we're able to count by 5s to solve. Okay. Pause this says you need to copy the equation down. Okay, so what did we just find? We just solved 6 times 9. That was the whole problem. Rewind your notes and take a look back at the back side again if you want to know what 6 times 9 is. But that represents this entire problem. So first we found what 5 times 9 was. Hint, hint. Then we found what 1 times 9 was. Then we added those two together. So what was 6 times 9? Fill that in here. And what was 9 times 6? Same answer, just factors flipped around. So these two should be the same answer. Okay, so go ahead and fill that in for us today as your final problem. Just show us that you understand the answer that we solved for the whole picture, the whole thing. 6 9s is what? And same answer, 9 times 6 is what? Awesome job today, 3rd grade.